David Baker, quantity surveyor with a very, very good podcast, and I've chatted to him before, and I tell you what, the question goes: what do we pay for public infrastructure? What are we paying for our consents? Which council's ripping you off and ripping us off? All those public projects and your private projects. What can he tell you? What does he know? With the hard work he's done, quite a lot is the answer. So we'll have a chat to him very, very shortly. These are all the things that should concern us. Things like last time I spoke to him, we spoke about the 4 or 5 steps, maybe the 4 steps at Milford Beach. At 60 grand each, I think it was $240,000. We'll talk to David more about that sort of thing. But how can you justify? How can you justify? And David will talk about this shortly. But how can you justify 4 steps at 200 odd K? I mean, I'll do it half that, eh? I'll do it for half that and see how they go. Duncan, this may not be part of your conversation. This is a text that's just come in from Kevin, but I thought it was worth mentioning. Travelling down the southern motorway on Saturday, one of the overbridges had the group protesting against Israel. I don't agree with them bringing this crap to New Zealand, so I gave them the finger with my arm raised outside them a window as we drove by. Sitting in the middle lane, a car went past us with a brown hand giving me a gentle finger back. The sticker on the back of the vehicle was the Māori flag. This shows how minorities group together, supporting each other to tear our country apart, says Kevin. Yeah, I don't know. It's a generalisation, but if that's how you feel, it's what you see. But, I mean, not all minorities stick together. A lot of them do. And what I find, though, is when Māori support Māori just for being Māori, for Māori's sake, even though they could be entirely in the wrong. That's what I sometimes question, and that's what I get confused about. Why would you support that person who's entirely illegal, entirely wrong? Is it because they're Māori? You know, I often question that. Anyway, so David Baker, the quantity surveyor with his podcast now, which is starting to take off, and he just calls people. He calls out the councils. He says what you should be paying or the time you should be waiting, and I think he does a good job. He's with us now. David, g'day, nice to see you.
Morning, bro. Good to see you again. Thanks very much for the email invite. Cheers.
Very welcome. Very, very welcome. Explain to people what it is that you, rather than me trying to explain it, what you explain what it is that you talk about and what you do.
Oh, mate, it's honestly just become a good bit of fun and good little marketing PR at the moment. But we obviously price a lot of jobs for residential builders all across New Zealand, Australia, and the UK. And it was my twin brother that came up with the idea and said, fuck, those steps on Milford Beach, they were, $240,000. And he said, mate, you should reprice this. You've done a lot of concrete work. And I thought, yeah, all right, I'll throw 30 or 40 labour hours at it. I know that's how long it would take to box up. Measured out the amount of D12 bars and 90 mil form ply Rio we need and throw some site preliminaries in, et cetera, et cetera. And I thought, geez, I can't get over 40 or 50 grand here. And then I just got my little content video team and told them to splice it up, make me a little video, threw it on TikTok, and it got about 150,000 views, and one thing led to another, and now we go down a rabbit hole. So
yeah, we really have.
I just like calling a spade, man. Like, I'm off a farm in Wanganui, just real common sense down the middle, and if something doesn't look right, I'm just like, man, that's fucked. So it was good fun, and now I feel like we've got a heap of people sending us, hey, can you challenge this? Hey, can you reprice this? Hey, can you help me with this? So yeah, it's a can of worms at the moment.
It really is. Hey, so how much? So those 4 steps at Milford Beach, what should they have cost the public? Because this is ratepayers' money. So what should it have cost?
Yeah, for sure. So at the moment, the one thing I am finding is we're repricing a lot of stuff off like New Zealand Herald and stuff articles. I had a budget of $55,000, no more, and that was being very, very generous. So yeah, I just don't know if the old steps could cost more than that, but we're trying to do these official Legima requests to get as much info as we can. I want to price apples with apples. I don't want to make assumptions, but as we all know, that that word commercial sensitivity comes out more than often, and we can't get all the info we need. So that's a bit of a shame.
That's true, isn't it? But $240,000 for okay, so they have to be strong because the public's walking up and down these steps, so they can't just be residential steps. These are, I suppose, they're commercial, industrial steps. I suppose I don't know if that's the right terminology, but they've got to be strong. Yeah. But $240,000. Some contractors walked away with the better part of $200K in the back pocket of profit, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And I had a labourer call out, message me on TikTok, and he said, hey, bro, you were bang on these numbers. I was a labourer on that job, and we were in and out of site in about 3 to 5 days. So straight away, like I knew I was bang on the money. So, I mean, that's just one example. We get sent so many of these now, and I'm trying to keep up with repricing as many as I can, but that one seems to be the worst one to date.
Why do councils accept this? Well, what's your thinking behind the fact that councils sign off on this sort of expenditure and front up with the money? No wonder we're all broke. No wonder the councils don't have any money, because this is happening everywhere you look. So why do they do it?
Yeah. Oh man, I'd love to know more. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in a council meeting where they've got 18 people sitting around in a boardroom charging the taxpayer whatever it is to sit around and most likely achieve bugger all. But it's got to be, I don't know, from what I read on TikTok and Instagram, it's got to be backhand deals. Contractors are mates of mates, and that's how they use to like kind of slide money around. Who knows? But it'd be good to if we keep hammering on this for a year or two, and maybe we can do something a bit more. I don't know. I want to try and find a way where I can't just talk shit on Instagram. I actually want to see if there's a way that we can reprice these jobs, set a tender, set a price, and that's what they have to use to go out and not fleece people, because it's yours and mine's money, and everyone listening, it's not their money, and it's a lot easier to throw around high level budgets when it's not your cash.
No, that's exactly right. And see, and that's how I see it, David. That's what I think when I look at this stuff, and I think, oh well, it's not their money. They haven't earned it. They haven't worked hard for it. It's just a budget, you see. So they just sign it off. They go, oh, yeah, there's the cost. And I reckon this is happening. This happens in government tenders everywhere I'm looking. I just look how expensive things are, and you almost can't justify any of it.
No. It's just wild. Like I look at last night, I jumped on a phone call with a lovely couple for our UK business based in Scotland, and they're coming to a QS to get an indicative figure on what their house build is going to cost in Glasgow before they go to tender with the builder. So when the builder sends their pricing back, they've got a non-biased opinion of what it should cost. Now, let's say it's going to cost them £300,000. They get price one, £380,000, price two, 220, whatever. And then they know very quickly, okay, is this builder desperate for work and he needs to win and he could go under, and then he's going to fault by the third stage payment? Is builder 3 trying to charge us way too much? And then builder 1, cool, his price is around about. So I'm just like, why is not every council project getting an independent QS report on what it should cost, and that's their baseline that they go out and use to tender? Because at the moment, I think it's literally just council / contractor's friend, and that's how they do it.
Now, tell us about how do these backhanders work? Because if the tenderer gets the job, and they're certainly they have their favourite people who do these jobs all the time, is their money going back to the person who signed out the job from the council? I mean, how does it? Do we know this?
Oh. Man, that's something that I'd love to know. I'd love to be follow the money, and if someone from a bank would come in and let me know how it works. But from what I've heard off a pretty well-known plumber up in Auckland who was owed a shitload of money, it's kind of like, hey, I'll give you this contract. You help me get this bloody beach house or this new car or put this on your business. I don't know. I don't want to give too much. I don't have the answer for that question, but I'd love to know where that money is going.
What about the consenting? Someone's making money somewhere. What about the consenting process? I just spoke to a bloke just before the news just now, and he spent $1,700 on the deck, but $2,200 on the consent for the deck. The consent was more than the deck.
Yeah, I think that's just. Yeah, and I can, man, we see a lot of that. We see a lot of consenting stuff. I just priced a 18 square meter extension for a guy on the weekend, builder down in South Auckland. His consent fees are going to be anywhere from 11 to 13K, and the extension is around about 70 grand. So it's like, that's a huge percentage on red tape and paperwork. I just think it's surely got to come down to like inefficient spending, and they've got to try and make up these costs somewhere else. So I just think they could be doing these jobs with way less people, way less staff. Didn't that person last say that how many people do Auckland Council employ? How many?
11,000.
A lot of people, man.
11,000? Yeah.
11,000.
And some of these consents take. Yeah, exactly. And some of these consents seem to take weeks and weeks and weeks, if not months and months. Some of them take years. Is it necessary to take so long?
Yeah. No, absolutely not. If our business, a very small fish in a huge pond, is sending out 300 to 500 job tenders or quotes a month with a team of 15, why can a council not reply to a basic set of RFI plans and run that through ChatGPT, get it to scan the plans, write the RFI, and send the email back. Like, I don't know about you and your business, but I try and keep my inbox clean every single day. So if there was an email sitting in there for 2 weeks later, I can tell you right now, I wouldn't be making any money and I wouldn't be winning any jobs. And that's why just be nice to see if the council could be that efficient,
Do you judge the councils? Are all the councils the same, or are some different? And who are the worst and who are the best?